Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. The Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where now we don't even have a sunset to look at anymore. Just a blank screen with names on it. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Onesiphorus. Pete, ring a bell?
No.
Martyred with Porphyrius and gets a shout out in St. Paul's second letter to Timothy.
Oh.
That's
Come on
the cool
now,
one.
Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big time.
Is that now St. Paul had what, 13 letters? I believe it was 13 letters, but I think they only think that he actually penned 7 of them.
Right.
Yeah, there was somebody who was stealing his little pseudonym or whatever, it was right.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they call it, but when they use someone else's
Pseudepigraphy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Anyway, yes, they both traveled. They're one of those saints with friends. They traveled ensemble to Spain, sort of in the footsteps or picking up where St. Paul left off. And unfortunately, under the persecutions of Domitian, they were tied to wild horses and torn to pieces.
They needed a Bronco McLaughlin in their life.
They did. And I thought, everybody. I thought, we got a scene with horses. And,
Was one of them named after Porphyry, the rock?
Probably. I would say yes. You know who the one who really kind of weirds me out is Saint Justin Martyr.
Uh-huh.
And he was martyred. And you Tom, we were talking yesterday about when your name is Bronco McLaughlin. I mean, I feel like so Mr. and Mrs. Martyr.
Yeah. What happened to your son?
Yeah. Talk about being born into destiny.
How will he die when he grows up?
He was like one of the, I think he's one of the very first dude martyred. And he's known as St. Justin Martyr. So, yeah, but to end on we'll get there.
All right.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, really. I'm on the edge of my seat. But what we are getting to right now is minute 124, which begins with the credit for assistant sound editors, and it ends with the credit for special effects supervisor. And there's one name in this minute that I think is one of the crudest names I've ever heard, and it's so crude that I don't even know what it means.
Oh.
Chris Handwork Whisks.
This whole thing's really devolving.
I like you could tell how sort of middle school something has become and how much Jerry's enjoying it. When you hear, before he starts laughing, you hear a long
Yeah.
Like it's like this long breath. He can't start to laugh yet because he's laughing too hard. It's like building up for an explosion.
Well, I had a question for you, Pete. I was wondering if you happen to know the second assistant director in Spain, Javier Chinchilla. You're kind of one of those positive guys that says hello to butterflies in the morning.
It's nice. It's almost like his name's Javier. His name in English would be like Joseph Chinchuk.
Exactly.
James Chinchuk.
We actually had a lot of great names that were complete sentences this minute. There was a Bruce Rush.
Mm-hmm.
There was Marnie Moore.
Oh.
Wait, is it like Marnie, Moore? Exclamation point?
Yeah, well, I put an exclamation point behind it. It's how you deliver it. It could be Marnie Moore, but I was like, Marnie Moore. So there's, of course, I think one that you're going to enjoy, Pete, Lionel Strutt.
Yeah, I had that one. Yeah.
Sort of a what's that where you command somebody? Remember in English class it was you understood? Was it imperative?
Yeah, yeah.
You had to diagram the sentences. That's one of those imperative sentences. Lionel Strut. And then actually my favorite was rob her terrace. Rob her terrace. Which
That precious valuables right out there on the open.
yes, Robert Terrace,
You know what I mean.
which was it was Robert Harris. Yeah, Robert Terrace.
Oh.
I did actually have a serious question though here about
No, you
this minute.
didn't.
I didn't. It's true. I was thinking about the Grail, and someone did bring up on the Listeners' Crusade. They said, listen, we're a bunch of nincompoops because we didn't understand that really what happens, the Grail doesn't really offer everlasting life. It offers, immediate healing, which then will sort of, you can live forever that way because you're always healed, right? And so I wondered, like, what happens if you get shot in the mouth?
Ew.
And it's one of those bad things where your mouth just is on your lap, and you're like, well, how do you drink it? how do you heal yourself when you drink? You get like shot with a shotgun in the mouth, and you're just like, well, I guess we could pour the Grail water all over this mess. I don't know, and then I guess their mouth would reassemble and they could drink.
Yeah, but I'm trying to picture that. Like, would you grow like a new jawbone or whatever fell off, or would
Exactly.
the jawbone in your lap like leap back onto your face and get reattached? I'm having a hard time with this.
Yeah. Would it sort of like reverse melt?
Maybe.
But I'm still thrown by the fact that Indy's scar wasn't healed because he dribbled it all over his chin.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't deny that we're nincompoops at all, and
No, we never
that
said
is
we weren't
100% correct. But I feel like there's something in Indy's chin not being healed. But maybe, I'm not sure why that didn't happen.
I wonder, like, what about his morality? Is that healed? Like,
Yeah. Or like, what if you have mild anxiety disorder?
does that
Oh.
go away?
Yeah.
Well, I think you got your work cut out for you, Pete. Yeah. Welcome to your
Drink
new
up.
quest.
Yeah, like it's confusing, like because there are so many different things we could be suffering from. It's an interesting. Like, does it take you back to a state like when you're 20 years old and you're young and
Yeah.
you know
You haven't made your
everything's
first bad decision yet?
yeah, or does it just kind of fix some of the big problems and kind of let you go on?
Well, what's interesting is, if you were out in the world, say you left the Grail in the car, and you went out and you went swimming, and maybe a rogue wave had overtaken you, or something like that, and you can't. I mean, in a way, it would be an ironic death, drowning. And the Grail's in the car.
Wouldn't any death be ironic if the Grail's in the car?
Yeah, it would be, but especially one involving water. I mean, I guess it would. In a way, it could introduce a whole new sort of handicap or almost phobia. Like, what if you're a hypochondriac, and every moment it's like, geez, honey, would you stop drinking from the Grail? Why don't you take 2 Tylenols?
Yeah.
Got one of those beer hats with the straws. You're just constantly sipping from the Grail, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you develop some kind of a dependency. Like, you become addicted to the Grail, and like you can't, like, if you try to go a day without the Grail, you couldn't function.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're just like super freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like driving around with without your seatbelt buckled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
1,000 times worse than leaving your phone at home.
The sky is filled with falling pianos and safes all of a sudden. I have a crazy question. Could you drown somebody with water from the Grail?
Like, could you waterboard somebody with Grail water?
Yeah, like could they be like negatively affected? But like, could you choke on water from the Grail? Could you could it go up your nose? Like, could you like if it's healing everything, but you're choking out that's still like a physical response. Could you like choke and could you swallow it like into your lungs and your lungs start filling up and then like, but you're not dying because you're like how would that even work? That sounds like an EC Comics kind of like, just never-ending horror thing or something.
Well, what if you're holding it in your hand and it's filled with water, and like someone comes in the room and makes you mad, and you brain the person with the Grail, but when you do that, like the water sloshes over their head.
Oh yeah.
Like, do they feel any pain, or does it like knock them out, and then a couple seconds later they wake up and they're fine?
And they're like a witness to their own attempted murder. And like, even though that should have killed them, it didn't. But could you still go to jail? It's like
For
Minority
intent.
Report. Could you still like go to prison for trying as hard as you could to kill somebody?
What if a precog drinks from the Grail?
Yeah. What if a gremlin drinks from the Grail after midnight? After eating some chips?
Oh, we haven't even talked. Yeah, what if a gremlin drinks from the Grail? We haven't even thought
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, what if you splash
What
water
if
from the Grail
what
on
if you
it?
drink from the Grail and it goes down the wrong tube?
That's
And
what
you
I'm
wind
saying,
up like, you get like pulmonary edema,
Yeah. But you just
like
have that
water
but
in
you're
the
fine.
lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're fine. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, guys? I think we're all just better off just trying to lead the straight and narrow life and just, try to make good decisions. Try to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the best you can. Don't be a jerk.
Very nicely put, Dom.
Thank you.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Yeah. Quick fixes are anything but. Especially in this movie. Good luck trying to figure it out.
Well, speaking of trying to figure things out,
Yeah.
well, yes, it's time. This just in from Professor
Oh my
Christy Porter.
goodness.
Hey.
Hey.
How are scholars presented in these movies? Marcus, Indy, Elsa, Chatterlall, Henry, Abner. Yeah. I would say a bunch of them are, without naming names, absent-minded. Sort of suffer from their own, I guess, monomania in the case of Henry.
Or even Abner. I was going to say, like, they're either
Or Abner, definitely
either
Abner.
absent-minded, obsessed, or outright evil.
Well, they all seem remarkably well traveled, and they all seem to have a lot of resources to follow their passion too, which I'm not sure would always actually be the case with academics.
Well, it's interesting because Chatterlall is an academic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you get the impression he is. He's
kind of the academic who went to work for government.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which means he has a dark side.
Yeah. Sold out, man.
Yeah. But Elsa, it's interesting. I mean, Elsa is portrayed as, I guess, having one fatal flaw. I mean, it's like one of them 95% fatal flaws, where it's a real big problem. But
Those slippery leather gloves. that you can't get a grip on.
those slippery. Well, I mean, I guess she has. She's obsessed with the Grail here at the. I mean, obviously a Nazi. She's working for the wrong team here,
Yeah.
or at the very least, under the auspices of the bad guys.
Although she hadn't had that sleep disorder, none of that would have mattered.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's true.
So it all comes down: get good sleep, everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure you're well rested.
Yeah.
Take a melatonin if you have to.
It's interesting because it's kind of a nice link to tomorrow, because there are a couple of academics in the credits tomorrow that didn't show up in the movie.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I did a little homework, and I think I'm picking up what you're laying down, Pete.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 Well, I, for one, am intrigued. So maybe we should just come back tomorrow. You want to?
Yeah.
Sure.
We're almost done with this movie, fellas. Almost done. It's the beginning of the end. Yeah, everybody. If you want to hear how this movie ends, how the end credits of this movie end,
How we end.
how we end the end credits, how the credits end us,
Yes.
please come back tomorrow for the very end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute. There's
Oh, do something
funny.
quick. Do something quick. Quick, name your next pet.
Alphonse. The Shih Tzu named Alphonse.